still growing based on word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We never paid any creator to write about AuthoredUp. We are not even giving like free licenses or something like that. Like there are, like 5 people maybe that have free AuthoredUp license. So we said that in our strategy, we cannot invest in paying creators to promote AuthoredUp, like because at the end lifetime value is relatively low, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to develop tool that is so good that people will love to use and will love to say to others to use it. So that's why most of the funds we are right now focusing on further development, on
Mm-hmm.
right now adding more free tools, etc. So that's we want to build and to give something back to the community. We are providing that by doing the algorithm report, for example, which
Mm-hmm.
took a ton of resources, or further building and improving AuthoredUp. But we never um, thought about directly paying for someone to promote AuthoredUp, or ads, Facebook, Google, whatever, or LinkedIn ads. Um, and we believe that organic is still a very good channel for us.
Ivana, hi. How are you?
Hi, Aljaz. I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm great, thank you. So we chatted before.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't record because the conversation was quite interesting. But AuthoredUp, this is not your first startup, but we will talk about it in our journey through this podcast. But can you tell us a bit about your journey so far before AuthoredUp?
Yes. First of all, thank you for having me and for discussions
Pleasure.
on LinkedIn. I think for 2 years. And yes, regarding myself, I studied economic theory, microeconomic theory to be specific. And then I worked first, like for a few years, for Serbian Fiscal Council, and then I got into startups
Mm-hmm.
because I really wanted to develop something that people will love to use. And then I spent, I think, 4 to 5 years on different positions in startups, as operating officer, product owner, or compliance officer. Even like I ended up at the end working on compliance for crypto exchange in Switzerland, and I got that license for a crypto exchange.
Okay.
However, I realized that like I'm still not passionate enough, and that I want to start something that's my own and where I will have 100% skin in the game. So I was too long in startups that were well funded, but I wanted really to risk and to see how it feels from a founder's perspective.
To go all in.
And yes, exactly. And that's when we started our first startup.
So this was not AuthoredUp. This was one startup
Yes.
before.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was called TalentKit. By the way, that's why the company is called TalentKit, that is charging for AuthoredUp.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically a startup that helped startup project because it never got to the market. Like I don't know how to call it, but we spent like a whole year developing it. When I say we, I mean my co-founder, who is also co-founder in AuthoredUp. We literally spent like hundreds of hours working on it, and we made every single mistake that you can imagine. Like everything that everyone else telling you not to do. Like you need to talk to customers, we didn't talk to customers. You need to know what is your marketing or sales channel, we had no clue. You need to know who you are targeting, we didn't know whom we are targeting. So it was basically insane. We developed like a huge product, we optimized everything that you can imagine, and then we got to the LinkedIn, because we couldn't find any kind of a user, like beta user, anyone that is going to
Mm-hmm.
use it for free. And we were like, okay, so we need to start creating content on LinkedIn in order to get some awareness about the project that we've been working on for so long.
So basically, you did all the mistakes that probably each one of us did once we started first company. So we thought we had a great idea, we went to the market, and then we failed. But the good thing
Yes,
is that we
successfully
learned.
failed. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
the
learned a
good
lot.
the good thing is that we learn a lot from mistakes. So probably you did too. When the idea of AuthoredUp popped up to your mind?
Well, when we started creating content on LinkedIn, because that
Hmm.
was, like they told us, like that is the platform where you should be. Like we were targeting recruiters, hiring managers, like we were, addressing candidate experience, etc. So it was the platform. And we tried, to be honest, I tried like a bit of a sales activities, or let's call it
Hmm.
spam. But then I realized I don't like it and I don't know what I'm really doing, and that I don't like that approach. So my co-founder and I decided to start creating, like writing posts on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But none of us is a professional copywriter, marketeer, or a salesperson. So we quickly realized that there are some tricks that you can use in order to improve your post. For example, if you optimize your hook, that's a good thing because then your post is optimized. If you add a bit of formatting, if you write having in mind the readability score, like how easy the post a reader can digest, like all of
Hmm.
that matters. But we didn't know how to do it, so we were looking for tools like LinkedIn tools, content tools,
Hmm.
like, and search for like 10 days in order to get a tool that is going to help us. The issue was that at that moment, all tools were for marketing agencies, for people that know what they are doing, for people that need, for example, to schedule one content piece to 10 different social media platforms, or to do something else on top of content creation. And we were not in that space. We just needed a very simple tool for people that are not professional copywriters, like for regular people, which is 99% of LinkedIn. And we couldn't find it.
Okay. Um, Today, you recently surpassed 30,000 users, right?
Yes.
Um, when did the AutoredUp journey started? Exactly.
So
How many years ago?
yeah, so right now I'm looking at the calendar. Yeah, it's 2 years ago. And how it started is that because of the frustration that we had, that we couldn't find like a
Hmm.
tool for, a regular person, call it like that, we decided to build like our own internal in-house tool. And then just for ourselves, that wasn't like a startup idea. Like we were still working on a previous project. But then we provided that tool for free to our friends. Then we realized that people are using it, that we are using it, and was one important issue. And the issue was that because that tool was on a standalone platform, like it was a web application, even we were using it like 50% of the time. And 50% of the time, we would just open LinkedIn, click start a post, and then start typing there. And then we were like, no, I don't want to copy that, somewhere. Then I need to copy it back. And
Hmm.
so we realized, okay, this needs to be an extension. And at that moment, because the previous startup wasn't providing any results, uh, we had two options. One was to pivot the first one, or to try to build something that is new. And that's when we started building AuthoredUp. In two
Okay.
months, 2 to 3 months, we developed like the first version. It was very simple, just two or three features, but it was too simple to charge for it. So we said, okay, because we have so much experience in not having anyone to provide feedback, the only thing that matters right now is to put this tool into hands of people that we don't know, and to try to talk to them to understand where the real pain is and how we can solve it. And then we released, it was open. I think for a first month we didn't even ask for email, like you would just get the
Hmm.
extension from Chrome and it would work. And then we started adding more features based only on feedback that we were getting from customers.
So basically, you did quite the opposite that many of the founders do when they launch a startup. You didn't
Yes.
go to the market with the final product, but you developed some kind of basis just to test it and to gather feedback. Was that the
Yes.
reason that you offer the tool for free, just to get the feedback
Yes.
to get better?
Yes. So we realized that we need to approach how we feel.
Hmm.
I know that this is not an advice for anyone, but we feel that yes, you can try to charge even before you don't have a line of a code, and we are okay with that. However, we really wanted to be to be in a position to contact with people that potentially can buy, and we also felt that most of the tools, especially new ones that are coming, lack like functionalities or are not as good as we would expect.
Hmm.
So we approach this as building a small business. Like when you are starting a restaurant, you are not expecting to get return on investment same day when you open a restaurant. So you first need to invest something to understand, you need to invest in menu, you need to employ people, and then at some point you become better and better, and then like that's how the business is born. And that's how we approached AuthoredUp as like a very very small, friendly, family type business, where you first need to invest in order to get something back.
Hmm. So 0 to 30,000 users. It happened in 2 years, which is quite the result. Congratulations! Because
Thank you.
in 2 years to get 30,000 users, it's not easy to gather. Did you get to that number just through LinkedIn, or did you use any other marketing strategies or tools?
Yeah, so basically we got to 30,000, like 29,500 or 900 something, almost 30,000 people that downloaded Chrome extension.
Hmm.
And most of them, like, or about that amount, is number of people that created an account with OutterUp and that we had their emails, etc. But they are not everyone, obviously, decided to pay for it. How we marketed is basically we were very open, I believe, from the day one. Even right now, we are very open with anyone and transparent. Uh, we said, okay, so we are going to give this for free. We are going to provide support. We are going to pretend like people are paying us in order to get something
Deliver.
done, get a job done. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we started talking to people. And when there is an issue, we fix the issue. When they need a feature, like we developed like a roadmap where every person can vote for the feature, suggest, put comments, etc. And we are going through that ideas on a weekly or bi-weekly basis and trying to understand what we can develop, what is in line with our values, etc. So
Hmm.
we said we are going to provide it for free. We are going to talk to creators. Like there are no limitations from our side. However, what we didn't have is any marketing budget. So we were basically
Like
paying
the
with
rest
our
of us.
time. Exactly, exactly. So we were paying with our time and our energy, and we were educating people, not only like personal profiles and content, but like we would jump on a calls to teach people how to use not AutoDAP, but like how to set up their like sales funnel on LinkedIn, or like
Hmm.
what content types work, or to provide some insights. So that's how we build trust in community.
Okay, so once you started charging, um, did you notice any drop in users?
Yeah, of course. So what mattered more than number of 30,000, even though like the number is enormous
Mhm.
and it's a huge asset even having these emails, if nothing, but was weekly and daily active users. That's what we were tracking. And because if someone is creating content once per month, they don't need to pay for a tool. Like they are fine with LinkedIn native editor and
Mm-hmm.
like anything else. But
Other
if you
free
are on
tools.
LinkedIn, exactly, and you are, like publishing between 10 and 20 posts per month, okay, so you are a creator, you are investing, putting a ton of time, energy to that channel. So you're also ready to invest in tooling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what matters to us. So we basically said, okay, so this is the this is number of weekly active users that publish at least 1 to 3 posts. We need to convert X% of these people. So our KPI at that moment was, let's convert 10% of weekly active users that publish at least 1 post per week.
Mm-hmm. So now that you started charging, do you still get all the website visitors, all the users through native channel just through organic posts, or
Yes.
did you came up with any other kind of strategy with paid media and so on?
Yeah. So we are still growing based on word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We never paid any creator to write about AuthoredUp. We are not even giving like free licenses or something like that. Like there are like 5 people maybe that have free AuthoredUp license. So we said that in our strategy, we cannot invest in paying creators to promote AuthoredUp, like because at the end, lifetime value is relatively low, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to develop tool that is so good that people will love to use and will love to say to others to use it. So that's why we most of the funds we are right now focusing on further development, on
Mm-hmm.
right now adding more free tools, etc. So that's we want to build and to give something back to the community. We are providing that by doing the algorithm report, for example, which
Mm-hmm.
took a ton of resources, or further building and improving Authored App. But we never um, thought about directly paying for someone to promote Authored App, or ads, Facebook, Google, whatever, or LinkedIn ads. Um, and we believe that organic is still a very good channel for us. One thing that we are right now opening is affiliate, that because we want to further capitalize on word of mouth, and people that are
Mm-hmm.
really into it need, we believe that we need to share revenue with them.
Of
And
course.
from tomorrow we'll have that open, available on the website with a whole landing page especially for affiliates. But again, our approach is always go one step further. So for affiliates, not only that we are providing, like percentage of sale, we are also providing the materials. We are also creating special newsletter, monthly newsletter, just for them, to show them what we are working on, to explain what is happening, to provide
Mm-hmm.
insights that they cannot find somewhere else. So our whole goal is to go one step further than any other startup would do.
I'm asking this because most of the startups focus on one or two markets at most once they release the first version, second version, and so on. But seems like you didn't focus on one market, but you launched globally from the very
Yes,
beginning.
yes, because we were in a position that we can do it because it was free, so we didn't need to think. And then we realized that some markets, basically, market was telling us, or like weekly active customers were basically telling us where are they from, who they are, etc. So we
Mhm.
realized, okay, this region is super interested, this region works, this region doesn't work, etc. So that's how we were addressing. And then when we see, for example, that like DACH region, like Germany, Austria, Switzerland, is pretty important to us, we, for example, translate all hooks and endings into their language.
Mhm.
And then when we saw that Dutch community is also relatively active, we then translate to Dutch. So that's how we are reacting on what is happening inside.
Based on how users actually act
Exactly.
inside the platform. Before we started recording, we talked about the difference between selling to end user, which is what you do, and selling to agencies, which is quite difficult because they are well informed. They are working on the competitive market, and you cannot sell them anything. How would you say the approach is different with AuthoredUp now that you're selling to end customers and if you would be selling to agency users?
Yeah, so we at some point when we started to charge, we got a lot of inquiries from agencies, and for quite some time we were thinking about, okay, so we are going to develop Altered Up for agencies as well. So and that took like 3 to 4 months. We talked to some of them, but then we realized that we don't really understand their pains and that they really need a different type of product. And if we would do it for them, we would do everything differently. So, for example,
Completely
they don't
custom.
need exactly, they don't need an extension, they need Dex, they need, to schedule. We would do different types of features for them. So we realized that, like, even though it seems that it is very similar, I believe that, it's they are totally two different products. When you have an agency, the whole team that is creating for one or multiple people and
Mm,
company page managing, etc. So what we however decided, and this is interesting market, but it is very niche, that we are going to corporate influencers or employee advocacy teams. And right now in 2024, and even in previous year, we see so many companies that are putting LinkedIn as one of the main channels that they want to invest in. Um, and we also are getting a lot of sales inquiries from companies, smaller or bigger, that want, for example, 10, 20 licenses for their people that are already creating or thinking to create content. And they need, for example, team analytics, they need collaboration on a draft, but at the end, the person whose profile is the person that is posting, scheduling, and
mhm.
making the final edits. So we are right now also building, we already have a group of features, and we are expanding more into that direction as well.
On the I checked the website. You have the options there that everybody can actually request some kind of feature adaptation and so on, which is perfect for us who are using it on a daily basis. How do you actually finance all that stuff? Do you have investor or do you bootstrap it?
Yeah, we bootstrapped. So
Okay.
we our vision for AuthoredUp is that we want to solve a very simple problem for a specific customer. So
Hmm.
for people that are regular LinkedIn creators, so not professional copywriters, that want to share their voice on LinkedIn to create content that is impactful. That's the first part. The second part is that they care about their account. They don't want to do any kind of automation.
Hmm.
And that's the second part. And then we said, okay, we want for this type of customer to provide the best tool to create content and share their voice. And then when you go to investors, we had, like many, many, many inquiries, but they want to get like 100x. Even if you jump on a call with them, but I have previous experience with investors, but they are like, how are you going to become a unicorn? They ask you something like that, and we're like, we will never become a unicorn, because we just want to serve this type of customers the best tool that they can use. Not everyone need to become a unicorn, like, or a
Hmm.
platform, or something like that. That's why, when I talk about other app, I usually use a word tool, And then they tell me like, like, but tool, it doesn't sound that great, but like it is a tool and we are fine with that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how. And then we realized that there is no reason to get any additional funding, because we never wanted to, like, to grow to insane amounts. And also
Mm.
we were also not thinking about, selling, trying to extract the value immediately. We would never spend 13 months in free beta if we were thinking only about, like, immediate return on investment. Like, I
Hmm.
love doing this and I don't plan to stop.
And you still have complete control over the company, how the
Yes.
product evolves, and so on. And you recently launched a new website.
Yes.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Did you notice any increase in subscribers, in website visitors, and so on?
Yeah. Well, I believe so. The It's interesting because in the same time, like, one day after the new website was released, we also had a huge release of the report on LinkedIn Insights.
Hmm.
So that was based on a lot of data science and trying to extract the value from data in order to provide insights to the whole community. So we got a lot of people to our website because we were mentioned, like, I don't know, like hundreds of times. But I think that right now, first of all, website is much more professional. We
Hmm.
can track our funnel much better than we did before, and we already see elements that we need to improve. So even 7 days after website was released, we were like, okay, so we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that. So right now we are also getting more data, and this is just the beginning. So even though, yes, it was a huge part, because we also have these free tools, we have our roadmap, etc. Everything was packed in one website. Right now, those are became a few applications. But this is just the beginning, because we need to work on product pages, on
Hmm.
alternative pages, on building more free tools for community, and all of that is coming in the next few months.
This was my next question actually. How often do you change the website look, the product pages, the landing pages, and test them through different
Uh,
communities?
we That's a good question. Not enough. Like, we should do it. We should do it.
More
Like, at least,
often.
yes, more often, like weekly or biweekly.
Hmm.
We didn't have time, or maybe that was not our priority. Whenever someone says I don't have time, probably that doesn't. It means like it's not my first priority.
Exactly.
So. Um, like, while we were in free beta, we were like, we don't care about website, we just care about, like, jumping on a call and talking to people in DMs. And that worked. Then when we decided to start charging, as you know, like, you need to integrate, like, the Stripe, you need to set up the accounting, the legal, everything. So you spend like a month just to make it happen.
Hmm.
Then we had early adopter program, because all people that were in beta got a discounted prices if they purchase in first month after the release happened. So,
Including me.
including you, yes. So then we were working on that,
Hmm.
like, and then you always have something that is more, important. And then we had the pleasure to find that that's the only thing I think that we outsourced, is building the website and design, etc., because we don't have, again, the designer in house, and we need a team that can deliver. So we partner with the agency. They're really good at. They are called Omnius, by the way. If someone is
Hmm.
looking for the agency, I'm not like not a promotion, not a paid promotion, just to be clear. Yeah, we pay them, like, they didn't pay us, but they are great in understanding SaaS. So basically, we then worked on website, like, for, I would say, too long. Not from their side, but also from our side. It took much more time that we expected,
That's always the case. In
unfortunately. Yeah.
every website I had a part in, We took too many. It took us too much time to
Yeah.
get it done.
And the issue with that is that, like, for because we are always, trying to run to ship
Hmm.
something for our existing customers, because we always prioritize people that are already paying us than the new ones. I'm sorry, but we really believe that that relationship is more
Hmm.
important than, like, with someone who doesn't even know who you are.
It's all about
So
retention.
exactly, exactly. Um, and we, I saw it too many times, that I become a customer of a SaaS and it works okay for a few months, and then you see that they are starting to invest into, like, a
New
bigger funnel.
customers.
Yes,
Yeah.
new customers. Then going up market, and I'm like, oh, I'm just an individual. Hi, and
And
then
you're
they,
just a
like,
number.
exactly, they 2x the price, and, like, they put
Yeah.
like 5 tiers, and you're like, what should I do? So that's why we always, like, trying to have okay, features or elements that we are working for ourselves, as we call it. For example, website, we call it something that is for ourselves, and we have stuff that are for customers, something that a person is potentially willing to pay more, or is going to extract more value from AuthoredUp as it is. So, and then right now we are in the phase where we are just building for customers.
Hmm. How big is your team right now at the moment?
So we have me and my co-founder. Obviously, he's a full stack developer,
Hmm.
15 to 20 years of experience. She's gonna kill
Oh.
me because I'm talking about years here, but like, super senior. I would call him an architect. I don't know what is the proper name.
Hmm.
And we have customer success a person from the days when we started to charge and we could afford someone who is great at it. Then we also have the additional software developer. We have a machine learning engineer that is, again, helping us with some features and some machine learning elements, big data, etc. um, and we have, yeah, that's the core team. Then we have agencies here and there that are helping us. For example, the agency that I mentioned that is helping us with the website
Website.
and with
Perfect.
SEO, etc.
So when it comes to customer success, once I download Chrome, install Chrome extension, and become a paid user, what's the actual onboarding process with you? Do I get any kind of support? Do I get tutorials, training, and
Yeah.
so on?
Yeah, so right now, and we just improve it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We developed, like, obviously an email sequence
Mm-hmm.
with three emails, three videos. Every video is between 1 and 2 minutes, very specific. Where basically, if you just watch these three videos, you will be able to understand 60% of features and to, get the value immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the first goal with
And that's
AutoredUp
your goal,
is.
probably, to
Exactly.
adapt
So
it as soon as possible.
exactly, and that's why we really care. Like, when people start to use editor, especially when they see preview, like, when they start to feel empowered, because AutoredUp is not only about solving, like, a specific problem, but also it's about how people feel when they are creating content, or after they created posted, like, how they feel about data, like, what can they do, like,
Mm-hmm.
are they able to find their previous posts or not, to repurpose, etc. So we are doing that. We right now also improved, because we have extension and the platform. We improved the onboarding that is helping you to move to the next stages, because obviously it's not that you can go to the website, sign in, and then do nothing. You also need to go to Chrome Store, you need to
Mm-hmm.
download the extension, and then you need to go to LinkedIn, and then AutoredUp will pop up. You need to log in there. So the process is not that simple. And we try to optimize that as well in the past 2, 3 weeks. But we also right now work on that's feature for us, right? We are working on onboarding, like in-app onboarding. That's
Mhm.
what we want to develop, but that will take time.
Of course. And before we started recording, you mentioned that you're working on some kind of free tools inside AuthoredUp as separate tools. Can you tell
Yes.
us more about that?
Yes. So because Altered Up was, we believe, was successful because it was free. Like
Mm-hmm.
we built a brand awareness, and if it wasn't free, I'm pretty sure I won't sit here today. So we realized that we should ship more. About few months, like maybe 6 months ago, I forgot. Our advisor told us that we should create one simple tool that is called, we call it text staircase,
Mm-hmm.
and then we spent like day or two making it happen. We put it on a website, and people are still using it and mentioning it, like, and we thought like it was a test. We didn't even know if that is going to be a viable idea like 6 months from the moment it was shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that it is a good strategy to keep having awareness, to keep providing value, because uh, from the beginning of our conversation, we really believe that you need to give in order to get something. And it is much better if you help people to solve problem for free rather than pay Google ads to get someone on a website.
Mm-hmm.
And we are right now working on three tools, but additional three tools. Probably in the next month, we are going to ship all of them. And then we are going to the next batch, probably 4 to 5 new tools. So if you have any idea what is important on LinkedIn that can be relatively easily solved, but you are doing it manually, let me know, because I'm happy to hear it, and maybe we can make it happen.
Send Ivana the message on LinkedIn if you have any ideas.
Yes.
Uh, do you think AutoredUp would be so successful if it wasn't for the Chrome extension, if it would be a standalone app?
Yeah, I think it won't be, because our typical user is spending time on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not spending time somewhere else. And you need to be where they are. And also, AutoredUp is a pretty complex tool and extension because it is not doing automation. And basically, it works similar to Grammarly.
You need to
So,
put the effort in first to get something.
exactly, yes. In the end, and you need to do it like that. And that's why we believe that it and then you see right now, even though we have most of the features available on the platform,
Mm.
for teams, even more features on platforms, because they can see, like, a manager of the team can see a whole analytics per person or total, and can create content for other people. We still see that 90% of our customers are primarily using the extension. So I believe that's because it is the place they want to be. Like on LinkedIn, they open easily,
Exactly.
Altered Up, put an idea, save it as draft, and then move on.
Exactly. That's why we all love it, including me.
Thank
Uh,
you.
for example, if I would found a SaaS, some kind of software as a service today, similar to AutoredUp or not, what would be your ultimate advice on how to approach the market?
Um, First of all, do not expect, like, it's not an advice, but it is, like a hot take. Like, do not expect return in investment to happen in the first few months. Prepare that you will need to work a lot to talk to customers and to maybe to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, because of the hustle culture and, like, all of these advices, like, build every week, build one tool, and then, like, on week 37, like, one tool will skyrocket. I don't think that is the approach. I believe that you need to pick the market, like, to pick the type of a customer. For example, we obviously like to work with end users, even with
Mm-hmm.
teams. They are still end users. So to pick type of and then to understand what is your goal, what is their goal, and to try to communicate with them to get them on board as soon as possible. So if you have that, and if you have a scope of these people that in your like on your phone, like that you can contact easily, then you have a very good starting point. Like, do not start anything without fully understanding
The
the
customer.
person that is going to use it, like the problem. That is the only thing that matters. Like, don't build one more tool because you saw, many startups are like, oh, I would like to have a customer support, like AI for like chat for with AI that I'm gonna plug
Hmm.
into my website, and right now I'm gonna do a customer support there, and I don't want to pay $100, so I'm gonna build something and to charge 50. Understand what pain you're really solving, and is it only about the price, like what is something that you're going to it is going to differentiate you. And even if it is small, like, you need to have a differentiator when you sit with your customers.
Exactly. I would also add to not spend too much money, effort, and time before getting to the market to see if you actually have the product market fit. Because too many startups put too much money into the developments, and once they go to the market, they see that they don't actually have product fit, so they fail. And
Yeah.
probably that's the right way to do it, to not to
Yeah.
go to the markets as soon as possible, even if it's not fully developed app,
Yeah.
tool, or
And even if
anything
it's
you're
free,
doing.
I'm not saying that's a good
I agree.
strategy. It worked for us. Like, I know that in most cases that
Hmm.
doesn't work. But yeah, go to the market with some. Obviously, some startups cannot, like health tech cannot just go to the market. They need to
Of
spend
course.
7 years. Yeah,
of,
it's not an option. Yeah.
of course, but in your case, I think that people saw the value of the tool, so they are prepared to pay for it now. If you would charge at the very beginning, probably you wouldn't have so big database of users.
Yes, and it's also about how people anticipate you. It's about brand.
Hmm.
It's about positioning. It's about learning about the pains, and understanding really the market. We are still learning. Like, it's not that we stop. Like, every day there is something new that we are like, oh my god, like this is, if only we knew this before. We also, we look at AuthoredUp and like, yeah, if we knew that it will look like this, we would do this differently. So it's not
I
that
know.
like you find like the perfect structure, but during the time, you just need to have open eyes and to ask. Yeah, one hack that helped me a lot is that I always, whenever someone says, send me a message, or like tells me like, I really love AuthoredUp, or I started to use AuthoredUp, I'm on free trial, or I was in beta, whatever, I'm like, okay, but tell me what is not working, what you don't like. Tell me, like, be super honest, like, what,
Mm,
like, what's something that we can improve, like, what was something that you said, oh, if only this worked like this, or like, or I didn't know what to do at that stage. Tell me that, like, even if you tell me like it sucks, I need to know it. And we have this form, whenever someone uninstalls the extension, we ask them like, why. Obviously it's anonymous, and we
mhm.
collect like all the data. We have more than 1,000 results right now, and we always go through that. It's like a bible. You need to go through it and to understand like what were the pains, what were the frustrations, what they didn't understand, and what we can do better in onboarding, or do better during the process, to help them really solve their problems.
Great. Um, to sum up this conversation, Ivana, what's on the roadmap for the next couple of months for AutoredUp?
Yes, thank you, Aljaz, for that. So, first of all, we are going to release multiple features. I would say 5 to 10 different. Some are going to be very, simple,
Mhm.
but will, like how LinkedIn should work, but they don't work like that. For example, when you create a post on LinkedIn and put a link, like you have this preview card, and then when you click X, it is removed. However, if you type one letter, that link preview card that looks like an image is back. So we are like, we need to solve this. Like I'm gonna write it like when someone clicks X, it's X.
Mm.
That's X for that link. So that kind of small tweaks that we are all the time. But like we are working on saved posts feature because a
I
lot of
saw that.
inspiration, yes, is coming from the feed. And for example, I like this post, or you are going to promote, like this podcast, so I will save that and then I can repurpose it in
Mm.
the future, so from other creators. Then we are also working on personal dashboard where you'll be able to see and to track your followers connections, like to see these numbers, where you are, to compare that. Best time to post, that is the first machine learning algorithm that we build,
Mhm.
um, that is going to suggest the best time to post for you, and it will
Based on
be
your
based.
activity or based on all
Yes,
activity on LinkedIn?
it's on your
Your, okay,
activity, but it's also on your cluster, because we have people that, for example,
perfect.
don't have enough activity, but we basically, every customer is put into a different cluster based on, for
Mhm.
example, your number of followers. It's not the same if you have 2,000 or 20,000. It's not the same if you are in US or you are in Slovenia. It's not the same if you're writing about marketing and someone is writing about like big tech. So we are basically clustering profiles, so there is a specific way how we calculate based on all your posts, and then based on your cluster, and then we will suggest 2 or 3 times per day, because usually there is not one but like 2 or 3
Mhm.
times, that you can at least test. Because there are people that learn that you should post at 8 a.m. and they always post at 8 a.m. because someone some said that in some blog.
It's not
So we don't
always like
believe.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we believe that you need to do personalization. So more
of
personalization is
course.
coming to AuthoredUp based on your data.
Ivana, thank you so much. I'm really excited what's about to come for AuthoredUp. I will continue to use it. I spoke to Yasmin Alic I think a week ago. He said he canceled all other tools. I did too, so I only use AutoredUp because it's everything I ever needed. Before that, I had like 2, 3 tools for analytics, for post ideas, and for other stuff. And now I can only use AutoredUp because it's basically, like you said, integrated into the LinkedIn platform. I can use it whenever I'm on LinkedIn. It makes LinkedIn Live so much easier. So I'm eager to see what's coming next.
Thank you so much, Ayash, for having me for this conversation. Obviously,
Pleasure.
for promoting AuthoredUp like this, and for sharing your experience. And tell me, like maybe not on this podcast, but in DMs, like what you don't like, so we can improve it.
Sure. Thank you, Ivana, once again. Take care and see you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.